Welcome to the WCIA 3 Farm Showcase. I'm Stu Ellis. Ahead for you, we'll explore the latest in farm technology from the ground up. We'll dig into soil health, the importance of getting your soil tested. We'll talk to someone who can help ensure that your crops are harvested timely. And we'll check out the new Kubota tractors for your big and small jobs around the farm. Plus, an in-the-field look at the new Deere X9 Combine. And you'll need a place to store your equipment. We'll check and see what Mancy Metal could build for you. All on this week's edition of the Farm Showcase.
This is the WCIA 3 Farm Showcase with your host, Stu Ellis.
We want to introduce you to John Deere's new X9 Combine with Sloan's Lucas Veal.
Well, Stu, this is John Deere's latest addition to their combine lineup. The John Deere S-Series is the market leader right now, and we see that continuing in those classes of combine. I think we're going to continue to see the bulk of our business still stay in that S-Series size, but this is in addition to the top end of the line. So we've added a Class 10 and a Class 10 Plus or a Class 11 combine to the lineup. And it's completely different than anything that we've had in the past from John Deere. It's got the dual separator in it. It's 23% wider, giving us the largest cleaning area in the industry. With the dual separators, we're able to handle up to 7,200 bushel an hour in good yielding corn. And it really shines in tough soybeans and also in wetter corn. This one happens to have a 460 bushel grain tank. But more than that, as far as the grain tank size, the ability to unload 5.3 bushels per second. So, you know, our current lineup, the largest one we've had up to this point has been 3.8. So that's a substantial increase. And if you're harvesting, again, in good corn up to 7,200 bushel an hour, you're going to have an unloading auger system that can get rid of that. This has a completely brand new engine in it. It is a John Deere designed and developed engine that's completely different from any engine that we've had up to this point. It probably more so mimics the smaller 9-liter engine that's in our S760 and 770 combines. It's a 13.6 liter, and they've done a lot of things with this to try to reduce the amount of fuel that's consumed. So they use a lot of belt technology, which belts are transfer power about 90 to 95% versus about 70% or so, and with hydraulics. Some other things that they've done, they've really focused on trying to make this an efficient machine. And, you know, really, if you look at it on a per acre or per bushel basis, you're probably looking in the 15 to 20% less per acre or per bushel from a total fluid, including DEF usage with this machine versus a current machine.
Thanks, Lucas. Now let's bring in Jeff Sloan. And Jeff, how does a large farming operation take advantage of this technology?
Stu, I think you got to look at downsizing the current fleet. If a customer is running, let's say, 5 or more combines, a bigger machine like this would allow them to eliminate 1 or 2 of those machines. There'd be a savings, obviously, with the operators. The ability to start your harvest a lot sooner than normal. I think the hard part with harvest, it's a marathon. It takes a long time to get the bushels out of the field, and you really don't know how much time you're going to have before the weather grows too inclement. So getting an early start, maybe when that corn moisture is in the 30% range, they have the ability, on site to dry it or take it to the grain elevator to do the same thing. Gives you a jump on harvest, which is very important. It is a long, drawn-out affair, so I think there's a big advantage to getting it done as early as possible. The heads that would work on this machine, currently 16-row, 30-inch head, 45-foot draper, talks of even bigger coming down the pipeline, but there you're going to have gained efficiencies during a day of operation. You can harvest about 80,000 bushels per day of high-yielding corn with this machine. So if you look at the advantages that you have there with one machine, doing the productivity, gaining about 50% on your current combine, it should just eliminate the added labor, the length of harvest.
If you want to learn more about the X9, click on the Sloan link at WCIA.com. If you are a farmer who's got both corn and beans that should be harvested, we've got a special solution for you. His name is Matt Berkey. Matt is the owner of On Track Farming at Foosland. And Matt, you've got some special opportunities because you have been in your life and your dad's life a custom harvester.
Yeah, you bet. I started running a machine when I was 14, 15 years old, and you know, that's what we do. We help farm our own acres and then help others as well. So.
Okay, so you've got some big equipment, and we're sitting on one right now.
You bet.
But what you'll do is really help out somebody who is in a tight spot. If they've got both corn and beans that need to come out of the field, maybe weather is an issue and you're there.
Yeah, absolutely. I have some customers, repeat customers, that don't even own a machine anymore. We've done all their harvesting for 15 or plus years. And other customers that get in a tight spot, a machine breakdown, weather conditions, they have to travel further away, to get to a field, and we'll go knock that out for them and continue on. So.
Okay. Now you're not only doing harvesting, but you're almost around the calendar. You'll help them do planting.
Yeah. No, I don't do much custom spraying anymore, but custom planting, anything else that needs to be done, we do it. Some customers, rather than renting their ground, we'll do farming as their own. They make all the decisions, and we carry out the operations for them. So whatever need there is, I take care of it. So.
Okay. Landowner wants to have you do it, or a farm manager
oh,
wants
yeah.
to have you do it, you'll help them too.
You bet. Yep.
Okay, now, this machine we're sitting on is a pretty special machine, and you've got two of them.
Yep, the Kloss 8800. We've worked with Kloss since 1998, and can't say enough good about what these machines are capable of. And we couldn't cover the acres we do a year without, running these machines.
A while ago you said 8,000 bushels an hour of good corn.
You bet.
That takes some grain carts too, and you've got them.
Yeah, we run typically 2 grain carts per machine, up to 15 semis if needed, and whatever it takes. And you can push 8,000 bushel an hour. You're not going to do it all day. You couldn't keep up, but the efficiency is unbelievable.
Okay. And you said 15 semis. You probably have the capacity then, if somebody is farming a lot of acres that may be far apart and need get some equipment. It's tough to drive a combine 75 miles.
Sure. But
you'll haul it for them.
Yeah, we have a sister company. We haul oversized equipment all across the U.S., ag equipment mainly. And then, in the busy season, we have several trucks here hauling our own equipment for the custom harvest and our own acres. And then we're constantly hauling equipment for others in the area to get to a place quicker, or if they have a breakdown and whatnot. So.
What else should we know about on-track farming?
Yeah, we care for every acre as if it was our own, and I take pride in that, and try to do the best job we can. So.
Okay, and you not only have the experience with them, you got your own farm, and you're going to take care of their farm just like you do yours.
Absolutely, yep. And that's the coolest thing about what I do is meeting all these farmers and seeing how they do things, and kind of have a pool of mentors, if you will, really, over the years. So.
Great philosophy and resources from Matt Berkey of On Track Farming. And if you'd like to know more about On Track Farming, you can find out about that at the WCIA.com website.
The WCIA 3 Farm Showcase continues after this.
You want a partner when times are smooth and a champion when things get rough. We hear you. Lohman Ray Insurance. Health, farm, life, commercial, home, auto, and more.
Been farming for 30 years. My dad started farming in 1960, and I took over the operation when he retired. I couldn't do anything else. Our insurance is how do we afford this, is what we were looking at before Lohman Ray came along, because it was very expensive. Coverage wasn't that great. It's the exact opposite once we switched with Lohman Ray.
Well, there's a lot of risks for farmers, and we try to give them options that they may not otherwise have if they weren't part of a bigger group, such as our Farmers Association, which would include farm owners, health insurance, crop hail, and many other options they'd have access to once they are part of the association. So the Farm Association basically brings a lot of like risks, whether that's a individual farmer or a farmer who has employees and tries to bring them together in one large group. Right now, they probably just have access to an individual plan that's going to be much more expensive, higher deductibles, and those are things that we're trying to alleviate to make the farmers' lives a little bit easier.
The Affordable Care Act came in. We actually lost our coverage, so it got real expensive. And Loman Ray was the first one to come out with a plan that actually grouped us all together again, so we could get it cheaper.
Health Alliance has been our health plan administrator for this large group association, being able to offer plans that smaller groups would not have access to otherwise. So not only are they saving money on premium, but they're actually getting a better plan design, decreasing their out-of-pocket risk for that year, which again puts them in a great situation when they're looking at their expenses for their family and their farm.
When you're working with Loman Ray, it feels like you're working with people from your community. They know more than just what we do, but how we live and our families, and it worked great.
And we welcome you back to WCIA's Farm Showcase. We are delighted to be with Jeanette Porter. Jeanette is the sole proprietor of RPM Soils in Whiteheath. And you've got a lot of services that you provide to a farmer.
Yes, we do. We specialize in soil and crop health, so we do a lot of soil fertility work for farmers. So we will go out and sample their fields based on their soil types and the 5 soil forming factors. And then we send it into the lab, and we will tell them what they need soil fertility wise to grow their crop and get a healthy crop and also be environmentally friendly and economical.
Well, you open up a lot of doors here, and hopefully we've got a time to go through a lot of those. But you mentioned soil health. And there's a growing interest in that. That hasn't been at the top of a farmer's checkmark list for a long time.
That's right. A lot of them seem to think that it's not something that's going to increase their profits or their bottom lines, but we're seeing more and more that it actually is helping, and that it is something we need to be mindful of when we're out in the fields doing our fertility work. So we've been taking soil health tests, and it tells them what they need to grow their crop and help them with making decisions on what cover crops they would want to use to help get their carbon to nitrogen ratios in check and help their microbiology.
Microbiology is one of those things that a lot of people are starting to look at, because that's what really translates that fertility into a root of a plant.
Right, yes, exactly. The more active your microbiology is, the better off you're going to get releases from the soil of your fertility, and it'll become available for the plant to use.
A lot of farmers are getting interested in tissue testing and taking samples, and at that point they can get some foliar recommendations too.
Yes. So a lot of what we do is we'll take the samples at about the V3 to V4 stage, and we will get those back from the lab, and we'll determine if the fertility that we've been recommending is working, or if there's anything they could add to enhance their fertility program as it is. And we'll also come back at the tasseling stage, and we'll check the levels then from the lab and see if they're still in a decent shape or if they need to do anything else. We want to pull it at tassels because the grain is starting to pull the nutrients from the leaves, so we don't want to wait much longer than that, because then your test will look low.
What are some of the recommendations you've got going out if farmers want to give you a call and say, hey, what do I need?
If they need to add something, we'll work with them to figure out what program they like the best, and then we'll make that recommendation.
Now, you make recommendations, but it's recommendations only. You're not selling products.
Correct. We just are an independent company, so we're just recommending exactly what the soil needs, nothing more, nothing less. So we are just doing what's best for the farmer. Our success is their success is our success, is how I want to say that.
Jeanette's slogan's a good way to end up this edition of Farm Showcase. And if you want to learn more about RPM Soils, go to our website at WCIA.com. Stein soybean field, and with me is Paul Corzine. He's a regional representative for Stein, and a lot of people certainly recognize that name. And Stein has pretty good reputation around the Midwest, doesn't it?
Yes, we do, Stu. Thank you very much for having me. And we have built many years of experience to get that reputation in the seed industry, and things are going very positive for us.
Stein has a lot of things, not just soybeans, corn, genetic traits. You've got the whole package.
Yes. Stein's involved in the genetics and many things, and are very well known around here for their soybeans and also for the corn. And they are working on different traits and genetics in several different fields in the corn and the soybeans.
Yeah, you bring up the genetics and traits, and a lot of people are thinking about what sort of genetics and traits can I get to overcome all the weed problems I've got in soybeans. And there's some new opportunities.
Yes, there certainly is. And we are proud to offer the E3 Enlist soybeans that gives a lot of flexibility and is new enough. It covers a lot of the weed issues that are out there that are causing farmers and growers a lot of problems. We have the answer for that, and we are able to address that very well and offer that to the growers to take care of that and also bring about the high yields they would expect with these Enlist E3 soybeans.
Now, Enlist is a combination of glyphosate and glufosinate, is that correct?
That's correct. Also with the one form of 2,4-D, it's actually a triple stack soybean that has the Stein high-yielding genetic traits in it as well, yes.
Okay, and so that'll cure a lot of problems, weed problems in fields. And what's the popularity of that? What do farmers think about it?
We are getting a fantastic response from farmers and growers to this because it offers them so much flexibility. We take care of weed problems. We have a lot of flexibility with how they approach it and when they applicate it, with basically zero volatility to any non-Enlist E3 varieties that are next to it. So we're able to take care and address these issues and problems that are out there without putting any kind of a danger to the adjacent crops. And yet we are also able to bring these things along with the high yields.
We appreciate Paul Corzine of Stein visiting with us today. And if you would like to know more about Stein, why, just look for their website on the WCIA.com website.
Been farming for 30 years. My dad started farming in 1960, and I took over the operation when he retired. I couldn't do anything else. Our insurance is how do we afford this, is what we were looking at before Loman Ray came along, because it was very expensive. Coverage wasn't that great. It's the exact opposite once we switched with Loman Ray.
Well, there's a lot of risks for farmers, and we try to give them options that they may not otherwise have if they weren't part of a bigger group, such as our Farmers Association, which would include farm owners, health insurance, crop hail, and many other options they'd have access to once they are part of the association. So the Farm Association basically brings a lot of like risks, whether that's a individual farmer or a farmer who has employees, and tries to bring them together in one large group. Right now, they probably just have access to an individual plan that's going to be much more expensive, higher deductibles, and those are things that we're trying to alleviate to make the farmers' lives a little bit easier.
The Affordable Care Act came in. We actually lost our coverage, so it got real expensive, and Loman Ray was the first one to come out with a plan that actually grouped us all together again, so we could get it cheaper.
Central Valley Mutual has been a trusted partner with farm owners. They've been great to work with. They offer a lot of benefits as far as their coverages for our farmers, and they understand the needs of what our farmers have.
When you're working with Loman Ray, it feels like you're working with people from your community. They know more than just what we do, but how we live and our families, and they work great.
You want a partner when times are smooth and a champion when things get rough. We hear you. Loman Ray Insurance. Health, farm, life, commercial, home, auto, and more.
The WCIA 3 Farm Showcase is available online at WCIA.com/farm-showcase.
Welcome back to the Farm Showcase, and we find ourselves just to the east and south of Arcola, near Humboldt, where Tom Niemeyer has Niemeyer Kubota. And Tom, you've got a special vehicle here that should belong on a lot of farms.
That's correct. It's a very nice side-by-side. Some people call it Kubota, and us call it an RTV. This was one of the very first units like this that had factory cab, heat, air conditioning, stereo, all that stuff standard.
A whole round-the-clock or round-the-calendar piece of equipment then.
Yes, attachments for it like a snow blade and those kinds of things. Hydraulic bed dump, power steering, diesel engine, hydrostat transmission. It's got it all.
And you've got them here for sale.
We do have them for sale. They're hard to get, but we'll try to find you one.
Let's shift our position now to where we can see some special brand new Kubota tractors.
Okay, we'll go that way.
Tom, you've got an L2501 here. What are some of the good features on this one?
That's one of our compact tractors, 25 engine horsepower. It's hydrostat transmission, four-wheel drive. Would work real well with the loader or any of the three-point implements.
Sounds pretty versatile.
It is a very versatile, small compact tractor.
For rural lifestyle and farms.
That would work both places.
Tom, this is a little bit bigger tractor.
Yeah, this is the next in the lineup of L Series. It's the L3301, so it would be 33 engine horsepower. It would be a Tier 4 engine tractor, which most people realize what Tier 4 is now. That came about a couple, 3 years ago, anything over 30 horsepower.
Tom, this is a L4060. This is a much bigger tractor now.
Yes, Stu, this is a starting point of the L Series. Basically, it also has the factory cab with heat, air conditioning, stereo, adaptable to all the implements with the front end loader, just a little more engine horsepower and a lot more comfort.
How much horsepower?
40 engine horsepower.
Tom, this is a 2650 tractor. What are some of its features? You got a cab on it.
Yeah, it's the B2650, kind of the smaller in the cab tractors, smaller frame in the B series. There again, factory heat, air, stereo, adaptable to all those smaller homeowners or small farm work with the loader and attachments on the back.
Good mowing tractor.
Very good mowing tractor. Glad you brought that up because it does have mid-mount PTO, so you can put a 5-foot or a 6-foot belly mower under it. You can mow your lawn in air-conditioned comfort.
Tom, 3901, an L Series.
Yes, Stu, we're standing by the L3901. We've already discussed the 2501 and the 3301, same frame size tractor, only with 39 engine horsepower. Same kind of tractor to do the same kind of job, and we notice on the back we have a Land Pride 3-point rotary cutter. A lot of people are not aware, but Kubota Tractor Corporation does own the Land Pride company, so they make all of our implements. They're all orange. They look just like the Kubota tractors.
Tom, this is one of the bigger models that Kubota has.
Yeah, it's one of the bigger models we have in stock. They have much bigger, but this is what we have in stock now, Stu. It's an M70, M471, so it's 70 engine horsepower, factory cab, heat and air and all that stuff. A loader tractor, a light farming tractor would pull a small 6-row planter, do some light field work, light construction, that kind of a machine.
Thanks, Tom, and thanks for watching. And if you would like to know more about Niemeyer Kubota, check out the WCIA.com website. We're sitting beside Mike Behringer. Mike is with Mancy Metals, and Mancy Metals has a lot of options and opportunities for great farm buildings.
Yes, because with what Mancy Metal does is we custom design any building for the customers that they want. We don't have packages. Yeah, we don't have packages. What we do is when a customer calls, we design what they want. If they want a particular width, length, height, that's what we build you. I will make recommendations maybe that will benefit you in what you're trying to do. But what we're doing is we're building the buildings for what the customer wants. Any way of any size, shape, or form.
Mike, there's a lot of special features that Mancy has. What are some of those that somebody could put on a building?
With all the features that we have available with our buildings, of course, would be wainscot, overhang, windows, several different doors and sizes and shapes, several colors to choose from. Just anything that you see running down the road, we're able to do what you saw in pictures or anything of that sort. We have a new color that's called a crinkle finish, which is a finish for, where you don't have the shine. It's a crinkle finish, and we're using that on homes. But with post-frame buildings, normally we just use our Sherman-Williams paint finish on our panels.
And with your buildings, you're making the metal, you're rolling it in Mount Zion. You can supply that to any builder if somebody wants a different company to build a building, you can either supply the material or you can put up the building. It's a total Mansi building.
Correct. Yeah. Well, we're rolling this steel for the particular package. We roll our own metal, and of course we do sell metal retail. But when the customer's wanting to build a building, we have 20 plus colors to choose from, and you pick the color that you want to put on the building. And when the building is ordered, the material is rolled from our factory in Mount Zion for that particular package.
And I noticed something on this building that we're sitting in front of are the huge doors. So if somebody wants to back a combine in with a 45-foot draper head, they can get a door that'll fit that.
Yes, that's something rather unique. We have found a company called High Lift that can take like a 60-wide building, and we can put up a 45 or 50-foot wide opening in the end of the building. Because what we're running into is everybody's wanting to build 80, 72 wide so they can get their 35, 40-foot doors in the end. Well, with a high fold, we don't maybe need to make the building quite so wide, but we can get you the width and the height of what you need to get your equipment in your building, so we can save the cost of the construction there.
What else do we need to know about Mansi Metals?
We're family owned, we're local. Everything that we do comes out of the Mount Zion office, and it's custom designed. So give us a call and we'll be more than willing to help you design your package that you would be interested in.
You can call Mike Behringer to do that. If you want to know more about Mansi Metals, you can find that out on the WCIA.com website.
Check out Stu's other farm reports at WCIA.com/farm-showcase.
Our thanks to Sloan Equipment, On Track Farming, RPM Soils, Lohman Ray Insurance, Stein Seeds, Niemeyer Kubota, and Mansi Metal for joining us today. And we'll see you next week at the same time for another edition of the Farm Showcase. If you would like to learn more, visit WCIA.com/farm-showcase. I'm Stu Ellis.
If your business would like to be a part of the WCIA3 Farm Showcase, contact Dwayne Jones at 217-373-3602.